Basically, a couple of weeks ago, I created a pop-up missile launcher. And what I mean by that is it's a missile that rises from the ground, arms itself, and then launches itself. If you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend you check out at least some of it first to understand some of the basic functionalities. But I'll sum it up right here. Basically, we have three buttons: Gear 1, Gear 2, and Gear 3. Gear 1 makes all of this here, which is the actual missile itself, rise from the ground. Gear 2 will arm the machine. It will make sure the machine is primed and ready to be launched. And then Gear 3 actually launches it. Now, realistically, it's not very powerful. There are way more powerful missiles I could be making. But this here is probably the best you could get for the actual, making it pop up from the ground. Because realistically, you don't see missiles in real life just kind of be built straight on sideways. You see them kind of rise from the ground. That's what I tried to do here. And it works. It definitely works. It's very good as well. And I originally said in the original video that it was supposed to be for style points. But looking at it, it looks like a mess. So that's why today I'm just going to polish it a bit and basically try to make it a bit better. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's get into it. So, basically, this is the machine I had last time, and I've got a surprise from technically in front of me, since I'm looking behind me. But just look at this machine, and I'm going to turn around. Ready? 3, 2, 1. That's looking pretty good. Basically, this machine here has been polished up a bit. I've taken away some of the excess redstone from around the edge. I've added a bit of a barrier here, and this, in more specific, the orange concrete powder. Now you may be asking, but wait, you've got the machine under here, how's it going to get through this? Well, basically, if I switch my game mode to spectator, then you can see underneath that this orange concrete powder is being held up by all these signs. And basically, I've got myself here a fourth gear, or I've got my third gears, and I've got uncover as well. And basically what this button does is it will push this sand. There will be a piston here that pushes this sand. And this sand is connected to this sign. And this sign has got all these signs connected to it as well. So once the sand moves out of the way and drops down here into that torch, then it will break. Basically the sign will break, and all the other signs will break as well, dropping all of this orange concrete powder all the way down here, where I've covered every single possible block that it could land on with torches, including the machine itself. I use torches instead of things like slabs because, first of all, it's a nice cheap alternative, and second of all, then as soon as the machine moves upwards, it will break the torches. The only problems I did have with it is that I had to put torches here as well, so that was a bit of a pain because it set off all these. So I had to destroy the bottom of it and then put the torches on, then put the bottom back on. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. I just made this, so now eventually this will break and it will fall down, and the machine works as normal. It just looks kind of cool coming up at the ground here. It just looks like it's a random machine that doesn't really do anything. It doesn't look like it does anything. But then, as soon as you uncover this, it has all this. The reason I did this was because, basically, what's the point of having it, just rise? I mean, you want to hide it as well. That's the whole point. You want to hide it inside the missile silo. You don't see missile silos just have, a hole for it. You see, a door open, and then you go up. Well, this is the equivalent to that, but because it's so big, you have this. And honestly, because the sign method, it means it's expandable instead of having, a piston door, which, yeah, would have been painful. I also did the 8 component one, so there's 8 amount of TNT, and basically I put this wall back here so you don't see much of the redstone. The only redstone you see is this down here, which doesn't really let you fall in unless you go here, but even then you can't really get in. You just kind of see this here. And looking down here, it's really kind of nice and bright. It looks like an actual missile silo. It's like this is kind of an underground area where they work. Maybe I'll put a glass pane here where people can actually work on this. You know, maybe make this as part of a build. That'd be pretty cool. I might do that on an SMP at one point. And these components here. And basically, most likely, you'd be building this maybe inside a mountain, but you don't want people to come over here and find that, you know, there's a massive amount of TNT down there. You want to kind of have this machine up here. You see one TNT and you're like, oh, I wonder how this works. Maybe press the button, because hopefully this here is very easy to replace. In fact, this is almost ridiculously easy to replace. It's so easy to replace, in fact, that you probably don't even need Light Medica to do it. Maybe to build it in the first place, but to rebuild this part isn't a problem. This part you gotta watch out for, because you have to rebuild every single piece of this. And hopefully it'll just stop people from seeing what's down there if they come through. And also for a safety reason as well. Like, if you're building here, like, imagine building on this part and then you fall down into the TNT area. That'd just be horrible. So you build the floor here to compensate for that. You got all this here, and yeah, it just makes it much easier to deal with. I think it looks quite nice. It functions really well as just a floor, so you can walk on, but the missile will also pop up. It just looks pretty good, you know. I think it's pretty cool. Considering this is what we had originally and that's what we have now, I think it's definitely an improvement, because just looking down there, it doesn't look the best. It just looks really messy. This looks like it's less messy. It just looks like there's a bunch of redstone here, rather than some actual massive build that's just... But really, there is a massive build. And what I'm going to do next is basically add a nice little platform area here, and we'll see how that works. And this is what I had. So, basically, we've got the same concrete floor here, but I've basically added this platform. And basically what I wanted to do here was I wanted to add a risen platform, because standing here makes you feel like you're on level with it. Standing up here is kind of like you can oversee the machine firing. So I basically just added this platform and added these different buttons. So now it's 4 gears instead of the 3 and then the rise. So, and they're all labeled as well. So gear 1 is drop the floor. So basically what will happen is this button will make this piston push into here, which basically what I did here was basically there's 2 pistons, one here and one here. Now what used to happen was it used to get bud powered, but luckily, because we have another piston here, basically it doesn't get bud powered anymore, so this piston just pushes into nothing. And the actual underside of it is the same still. Everything's still fine down here. I just kind of changed it up a bit, and especially with this, it just looks much better now, and it looks like it actually works. You've got a little staircase up here, and the iron bar, so you can oversee what's going on here. It's not the biggest difference to the machine ever, but I think it kind of turns it from a cool concept to more of a finished product, or at least the start of a finished product, rather than just something random. And honestly, I'm considering really heavily of building this inside of an SMP, and as you can see over here, we have a bit of a blob of dirt here, and I'm going to show you a clip of me firing the machine into this hole, because as I said, if you make like a little entrance here, you could explode it here. Honestly, again, it's still not that useful. It's honestly just stylish. That's all it is. It's just for style points. If I wanted to build something absolutely mega and destructive, then I could really easily do that. But this is just for the proof of concept, remember. This is proof of concept. You can't easily make that. Well, you can't easily make this. It took very long, in fact. In fact, I spent like a month on this. Well, a month on the original thing. On this, it took me a couple days. And yeah, I might consider making something much bigger, much more powerful. Or maybe like a TNT cannon or a different kind of missile, one that actually works. I don't know, I'm going to try more of this stuff in the future since people seem to like it. But yeah, that's basically what I've done. It's not too much of a difference. It just makes it look cooler and kind of have a bit more functionality, a bit more. I probably will build this in a survival world, if possible. Definitely a multiplayer one if it is that, because I don't want to build it in like just some single player survival world. Like, what's the point in that? No one's going to see it. well, downloads in the description for this machine here. And that's basically all I have to say, so I'm gonna leave you off with another piece of footage of me launching the thing. So, yep. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, goodbye everyone. That's all I've done today, and if you want me to do anything else with this machine, then just put it in the comments down below. I will literally listen to anyone at this point, because I need content. So, you want me to do anything with this machine, or any other machine for that matter, it doesn't even have to be with this, just any other kind of redstone project, or build project, well, not really build project, you know what I mean, just anything to do with Minecraft. And, yeah, I'll leave you with the clip. Bye everyone.